name's Mandy and welcome to my channel. Now my channel is called Come Sew With Me. Now what I do is I do a lot of alterations. We kind of make things from scratch too. So yeah, today what I thought we might do is, a couple of months ago I actually made a bed. My partner and I, we made a canopy bed. So the only curtains that I could get that I felt looked nice with it were these ones. So these are, you know, ready to hang curtains. But for my canopy bed, I don't want them like that. So what I'm going to do is quickly show you how to change them and alter them around. It doesn't really take a lot of work. It's just basically cutting, making a new seam and sewing, and then just putting it onto the bed. So we're going to do that. I've only got 3 more to do anyway. So we'll get stuck into that right away. Now, I've got the curtain up on my cutting board here. So the very first thing we're going to do is just cut that top piece off. Now, a good thing to have is really sharp scissors. Everyone who wants to be any sort of a dressmaker should have nice sharp scissors. So we'll just continue cutting this piece off. No rocket science to this. But I do need to say that when you cut stuff, your cutting does have a lot to do with the end result. So do try to remember that. Try to keep your cutting straight, and then you won't have any issues later on. So simple as that. There we go. Cut away. Now if you're wondering what that little bit of growling in the background is, that's my little sidekick. And she wants to come into the room all the time. And she decides that she's going to growl when the camera's going. So there you go. We've cut that piece off. Now I actually don't need that because, like I said, I bought these curtains to go on a canopy bed. But the main reason why I actually bought them is because of the colour, and we bought them from Curtain Wonderland. So here in Australia it's Curtain Wonderland that we go to, rather than going to Spotlight to buy the fabric. To be honest, I wouldn't have been able to buy the fabric for the price. So curtain and cut it off as we do. So that part is done. So I'm going to now sit down and show you how to sew it. Okay, so we're at the sewing machine now. And what I'm going to do, now this is the back of the curtain. All I'm doing is folding it over one way, just one fold. Then we're going to stitch that in place. There we go. Now they don't really need to be perfect because this fabric tends to move around anyway. It's as you can see, it's just like a nice little weave. And can distort very easily. It's like a stiff chiffon. So we're just going to run down. Now this sewing machine of mine, it's a Jack. I love my Jack sewing machine, but unfortunately my Jack sewing machine does not have zigzag. It can be an issue sometimes because I love playing with zigzag stitch. But at the same time, I love my Jack. Now you can do this with any sewing machine. So don't ever think that you need to buy the same sewing machine as people that show you this sort of stuff, because you actually don't. Just try and keep it as straight as possible, as straight as you possibly can. Now here we're just trying to avoid a little bit of puckering. So I'm just going to feed it in. And then we get to the other side. And I finish it off. There we go. A little bit rough, but you know what? It's fine. Most of these seams you actually won't see. Now, we have 3 lots of stitching to do. That was your first one. Your first one is to get your first fold. Now your second one, we repeat that fold. And your third one actually is to secure. Oh, actually no, there is 4 lines. There is 4 lines to do. Sorry, my mistake. So your first one is to do your fold. Your second one is to follow that fold. Third one is to get your little pleat up the top, your little gather piece, and the fourth one is to make sure this piece is secure. So there is 4 lines. Now we just try and follow this second line and try at the same time to keep the amount of gather the same. When you get to know your sewing machines, sometimes you don't need to use pins. And because I've done 7 of these already, I felt I don't need to use pins. Now it does, the weight of it will drop to the floor. So a good way of fixing that up is to tuck it, most of it, up on the table. Now again, double check that your folds are the same each end. Like so. There's our fold. Now we just continue. Doesn't have to be perfect again. long as you've followed your lines properly. And there we go. And I will finish that off. There we go. So now we do our third line of stitching. Our third line is getting our little pleat up the top. It's just deciding on where I actually want it. Now I started again, and there we go, we've just lost it all onto the ground. We just follow the same line. So, and what we're creating here is that side is your pleat that sits up on top of the curtain, and in here is where the pole goes in. Because these are already bought curtains, I don't need to hem them or anything. They're already hemmed. I just needed to create, if you can see that, my little frill at the top and the pocket where the pole goes in there. That's all we've had to create. Now this is my last line of stitching. And this one is just securing the bottom edge. So we just run it along that very edge. And this piece here that I'm sewing now is, of course, that first fold that we did. So there's your first stitching line there and your second stitching line. This works for a couple of reasons. Makes it look a little bit neater, and it actually makes it a little bit more difficult for it to fray. And there you have it. There we go. Now, so what we've created here is a curtain that we've taken from a ring top curtain to a pole top curtain now. And we didn't really, it didn't sort of worry us too much as to how much length we lost. So what I'm going to do is I'll finish off the last ones, and then we'll take these curtains in, and then I'll show you how they all look on the bed itself. So thanks for watching, and I'll get back to you shortly with a picture of the bed. Okay, so I'm sure everyone was a little bit interested in having a closer look at the bed. Now we've got the curtains on. Like I said, I've made 10 of them now. 10 curtains to go around this bed. We made this bed as a canopy bed to go over an existing bed, simply because, well, everyone loves canopy beds, and it's a little bit princessy, and my daughter loves it and doesn't get out. Now, even cutting off the amount that we did, there's still a nice amount of drape on the floor. So eventually the canopy bed is going to have a piece of wood, decorative wood actually, going around this top section, which actually will tuck that in and pretty much hide it. But there it is. There's the canopy bed. I'm quite happy with it, quite proud of it. If you want to come in and have a look, it's actually really nice inside. As you can see, all the curtains around. And yeah. So thank you for watching my channel, and like and subscribe, and please come back because we're always making all sorts of stuff. This is just little things that we had laying around and thought we better finish. So if you stick with us, yeah, I've got a lot of stuff to make. So thanks guys, thank you, and we'll be back soon. Thank you. Bye.